Exciting chess news alert. We have a brand new top engine that's competing now in the computer chess world, and it's really powerful one. Its name is Torch, and it's already rated around 3,500 rating points. And the most impressive part is it's already competing in the Computer Bullet Chess Championship Super Final against Stockfish 16. I think even the coolest part about this chess engine is that it's actually developed by many great developers of some other top engines like Koivisto, Dragon Engine, Berserk, Ethereal. So we have really united strengths in order to maybe dethrone the Stockfish 16 engine. And as I said, so far they're playing in the super final. At the end of the video, I'm going to reveal you the result and also the current standings of this amazing chess tournament. So I'll read you a little bit more now about this Torch engine from the description. So the Torch engine is a brand new chess engine built from the ground up by top chess engine developers. The team is composed of Andrew Grant from Ethereal, Finn Eggers and Kim Kåhre from Koivisto, Jay Honnold from Berserk, and Michael Whiteley and Dietrich Kappe from the Dragon Chess engine. Mark Lefler and Larry Kaufman have been advisors to the project. So please check it out. I think it's an amazing chess engine too. It plays really direct, aggressive, sharp, tactical chess. In my opinion, really something worth to follow. So let's see now, can the Torch engine dethrone the Stockfish 16 engine? So I've sorted out from the super final a beautiful, sharp, tactical game in the Scandinavian defense. Here Stockfish played with the white pieces and the Torch engine with the black pieces. So put your seatbelts on and enjoy in this amazing tactical battle. So here the fish opened with the move e4. Sorry, I have to adjust some sound settings. Sorry. Okay. After move e4, here the Torch engine response was d5, the Scandinavian, e takes d5, queen to d5, knight to c3. We have the Mises-Kotrok variation, kicking away the queen. Queen comes here on a5, and now after move knight to f3, knight to f6, bishop to c4, we have now the main line of the Scandinavian defense. So bishop to g4, pinning the knight, very aggressive method. Usually this move is met with the move h3. Black has to retreat, and now here we have the move d3. e6 now by the Torch engine, bishop to d2, hitting the queen indirectly, of course, but now there are some threats, knight to d5, knight to e4, maybe knight to b5, kicking away the queen with the tempo. So queen to b6, we have now the move g4, bishop to g6, and now queen to e2. This makes, of course, no sense if you pick up the pawn on b2. It's just this poison pawn. Then, of course, you're vulnerable here around the square b7. So, in my opinion, not a good continuation here for black. So after move queen to e2, knight from b to d7. As usual, here black is trying to castle queenside to secure the king, and then maybe later push also here bishop to b4, maybe push the position here e5 and some other stuff, trying maybe to break and enter here on the e file. So queenside castling by the fish, queenside castling also by the Torch engine. So knight to h4, chasing the bishop all over the board, queen to c6, and now king to b1. A small improvement, of course, of the position of the king. So a6, a3, creating breathing spaces for the bishop now, here also by Stockfish, knight to d5, and now f4, simply playing on this minority attack here against the slight square bishop. Now there is, of course, also this positional threat to play the move f5. So here we have knight to b6, hitting the bishop on c4, bishop drops back to b3, and now after move knight to c3, bishop to c3, we have now this idea, knight to a4, kicking away also the bishop here from the square c3. Stockfish retreats, and let's stop and evaluate a little bit position. So far nothing wrong, I think, in black's position too. Black has good activities with the dark square bishop, has good activities with the light square bishop, and now after move knight to c5 that the Torch engine is playing here, there are even so many tactical threats. Knight takes b3, for instance, knight takes d3, bishop to d3, rook to d3. In some lines, you could even lose the queen if you don't play the game correctly. On the other hand, I think white has also decent activity, has also this powerful knight on h4. In one moment, we can even trade off, of course, the knight for a bishop. But the main goal is, I think, this method here with the move f5. But that's just some strategy that I'm talking about. You see now how the game will explode, so no strategic moves will play from this point on. I think the game becomes so tactical, so brutal now from this point on, so pay good attention. As I would like to say, put your seatbelts on and really really visualize this mortal now battle in the middle game stage. So here we have bishop to c4 by the fish, bishop to e7, kicking away the knight, knight to f3. We have now bishop to f6, and for instance, if white maybe plays here a bad move, that's the point here. If you play something like h4, this could be really really in some lines a good move, because you're trying of course to play aggressively against this light square bishop. But then you get this one, for instance, you get b5, you drop back, and now, as I said, you could lose the battle here around the square d3 if you're not careful enough. So that's why after you look at this, c takes d3, bishop to d3 is simply winning the game. So that's why after move bishop to f6, Stockfish drops back now. Now of course this whole idea is not working here around the square d3, but now here this torch engine is playing now really an aggressive move with the preparation now to hit the bishop with the move b5, and then later also maybe b4, a4, letting the pawns roll here on the queen side. So knight to e5, an attack against the queen, bishop to e5. Here it's a good trade, I think, by black, giving up the bishop for this powerful knight in the center of the board, but keeping of course the activity here, especially around the square d3. So we have now the move b5, very aggressive move by torch. We have bishop to a2, and now comes the stunner of the game. Here the torch engine plays the impossible move rook to d3. Really wild stuff. Look what happens after move c takes d3. Now comes knight to d3, attack against the queen, but also here this annoying potential check on this diagonal by the light square bishop. And many of us would start to sweat here. Many of us would even, I don't know, maybe even resign the game, but not Stockfish 16, because let's see now possible continuations which are bad here for white. For instance, you play queen to e3. This is not good. You're retreating with the queen, but then you get this one. Knight to b4 comes with a check. You can maybe lock now this diagonal, but after e takes f5, you can maybe pick up now here the knight on b4, but actually you get this one, f4. Discovered attack by the bishop. You have to drop back, bishop to d3, rook to d3, and not only that, also your rook on h1 is hanging. So it's one line that's of course not good here for white. So we have seen now this move queen to e3. Let's see now possibilities if you play queen to g7. Then of course knight to b4 comes again with this check. You have to again play f5, but now queen to e4 leads into complications again for white after move knight to c2 and similar stuff. For instance, if you play queen to e2, then of course the winning idea is immediately knight to c1. First the check here, and the most important thing is that this attacker comes also with an attack against the queen, so the queen could be lost. You don't have time of course to pick up the knight because of this check by the bishop on g6. So here you see many methods after move knight to d3 are not working. So the only move that's helping out here white is actually to play a very amazing move, queen to d4. Look what happens now. Now the rook comes into the game, rook to d8. Stockfish has to now give up the queen for the rook, but after king to d8, now f5 is solving this tactical issues, because after e takes f5, now comes rook to d3. We have now king to c8. It comes now with a check, so the rook is so far not hanging here by white. Stockfish has now the opportunity to bring the bishop into the game. Here you have to play queen to c5, and now Stockfish slows down really the pace of the game, regroups, gets the rook back, connects everything, keeps everything compact. Both rooks are protecting each other. The rook is also protecting the bishop on d5. The bishop on c1 is well protected. Okay, you have this idea, f takes g4, comes again with a check, but now after king to a1, the torch engine tried this idea, attacking the rook, rook to d2 by the fish, and now g takes h3. I think this was really a beautiful tactical sequence, really a rare case that you see such an immortal battle in the middle game stage. And you see now it's not even easy for white to play the game, although you have two rooks and a minor piece for the queen. But I think, look at this, black is here 4 pawns that are marching, and also here an extra pawn on the queen side. Let's see now how Stockfish can maybe solve also this positional problems now in the game. So rook to e1, getting the most activity now out of the pieces. We have c6, kicking away the bishop. Now Stockfish takes at least 1 pawn from the board. Bishop to f5, building a battery by the rooks. Very important move to simply keep really a compact position all over the board, because the queen is of course flexible. In some lines you can get maybe a check, and then one of your pieces is hanging, so it could be over. So that's why bishop to d7, here bishop to e8, b4, kicking away the queen, and now a couple of trades of pieces. I think so far really amazing endgame technique by the fish, even releasing more pressure now in the game. Now without the light square bishop, I think black's attack is not so dangerous. When the light square bishop was on the board, then there were maybe some possibilities to build a bishop and queen battery, maybe even deliver checkmate. So far I think now the king of blacks is also a little bit endangered, especially on the 7th rank. So we have a4, very nice move here by the fish, trying to keep all of the squares covered, because what Stockfish is trying now to do, and it's really crazy, Stockfish actually with the move a4, this is really an amazing move, builds a beautiful checkmate pattern. Really well stuff. Pay good attention what the fish is doing now. So now I have to move b3. Also, here the torch engine is trying maybe in some lines to somehow, I don't know, attack this pawn, maybe take it out, and then maybe in some lines, if possible, also to deliver checkmate, or at least a dangerous check on a4. But now comes this the stunning tactical sequence that Stockfish has prepared here. So we can now bishop to g1. For instance, if you play a bad move like queen to g4, look at this. In many of these lines you can get even checkmate. For instance, you go here with your king, and now after rook to a8, you get a beautiful and amazing checkmate here with the rook activity, with also the bishop on g1. And as I said, the move a4 was also very important because it prevents this king to escape maybe in some other route. So amazing checkmate it would have been. So I'm telling you about this sequence, about this possible sequence, because probably you ask yourself the question, why is black not playing more actively here with the queen? Because you see you have also some worries with your own king on d7. So we have now c5, bishop to h2, queen drops back to f7, now a check by the fish, king to c8, and now cutting off simply the queen's and king's ability to play. What Stockfish is trying to do is again to keep the pieces compact. So now you see the bishop is also protecting now the rook on d6. Go king to b7, now again with the idea to deliver an annoying check. The queen drops back on f3, and now after rook to e7, king to c6, mission accomplished. I think Stockfish took now another very important pawn. Now okay, you have still 2 pawns here on the queen on the king side, but these are not any more disconnected pawns. These are double pawns, and the blockade here by the bishop is not allowing here these pawns to be advanced. So king to d5, we have a new check. Now the king gets here on c4, a new check by the fish, king to b4, rook to c7. Again, if you play something like queen to f5 here in this particular position, if you try maybe to be more active, the problem is now again a new checkmate pattern. You have to now, for instance, go here, but now after this one, this would be a stunning checkmate. For instance, you go queen to d5 in order to prevent a new check. Then this is the problem: bishop to g3, and then bishop to e1 is also one of the possible checkmate threats here by white. So you see, the activity of white gives here really black a headache. Always there are some patterns, there are some opportunities to maybe create a checkmate. So here in the game, after rook to c7, king takes a4, rook takes c5, queen to d3. Now the bishop comes more into the game, and now the torch engine simply gave up the queen. Now from this point on, it was game over, because there was nothing that you can do. The check is coming for sure. You have to then sacrifice the queen again, and this bishop is holding the pawn. So as we said, now torch played simply this. Now the king came closer. Stockfish grabbed all of these pawns. Now simply get the king closer, simply get again here also the bishop into the game, again going into no position. And now after a couple more moves, the game ended with this beautiful checkmate pattern with the move rook to a7. So incredible game by the fish. Let's see now the current standings of the super final. Okay, here in this super final, the Stockfish engine is destroying the torch engine with a result 112 points against torch's 70 points, which is really again a pure domination by the fish. But I would not give up on this project for sure, because I think when many minds are combined together, they can really make awesome things. So you have seen many great developers are participating in this project. The developers of the Koivisto Ethereal chess engine, Dragon engine, really great developer. So in the next couple of months, maybe this Torch engine will be more dynamic, will be also more aggressive towards Stockfish 16. I'm not sure what will happen, but still, of course, Stockfish is the best engine in the world. But in my opinion, really an interesting project here that's going on now for sure. So okay, I hope that you enjoyed this game. I really enjoyed it a lot. Interesting attacking ideas by the Torch ending. One moment you have to be really a tactical beast to defend this position, but still the fish is the fish. Still the fish calculates everything in a good way. But if you want to see, of course, more great chess engines like this, please check out our coverage so far of our computer chess games. Here's the link of our playlist. You have more than 450 brutal chess tactical games, so enjoy, and I think you can have also great preparation in particular openings, also in particular sidelines of openings. So what do we say at the end? Chess is the best, of course.